on the death of Nolan Xavier Wells. He conducted and presented this report on July 19th, 2026. Preliminary report, second autopsy, death of Nolan Xavier Wells. Cause of death, undetermined, pending investigation. And we'll explain that as we go through the report this morning. The manner of death, undetermined, pending investigation. Statement of examination. This forensic pathologist was retained to perform a second autopsy examination on the body of Nolan Xavier Wells. Name of decedent, Nolan Xavier Wells, age 18 years old, race black, gender male, date of death unknown. Second autopsy date was performed on July 10th, 2026. Preliminary findings, and this is significant. Focal area of red discoloration in the soft tissue of the back of the head, the occipital region. He said the etiology is unknown at this time. He said the body was received after the initial autopsy. He said the body had marked decompensation. He said coronal incision of the scalp, brain removal.
The bombshell, his throat was missing. Not lost, not damaged, missing from his own autopsy. You need to hear this. Local police called Nolan Wells' death a simple drowning. No foul play. Case closed, right? Wrong. The FBI just took over this investigation. And once you understand what the second autopsy couldn't find, you'll understand why. Here's what you're about to learn.
Nolan Wells' mother and father, Christine and Elmore. Please give them a warm NAACP welcome.
First of all, I want to say thank you all so much. Thank you to President Johnson as well as Chairman Russell. This has been a difficult journey. Losing a child, it truly breaks your heart. It is a pain that is just, you can't measure it. Especially someone like Nolan, who brought so much joy and light and life to everyone. You don't find too many genuine people like him. So to lose that light at such a young age under these circumstances has been absolutely difficult, which is why we've gone this route. There's so many people out in the public asking all of these questions. But the only question that we have is what happened to our son. That is the only question. We have consistently been degraded by the public. There's been questions about our parenting, our GoFundMe, this, that, and other. I've been called a racist. I am a healthcare provider, and I take my job very seriously. I love everyone. And it's been difficult for us, but we are leaning into our faith, leaning into one another, also leaning into all of you. There are not enough thank yous, not enough appreciation for what you guys have done for us. And we do. We love you from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. And so it is our hope that our local authorities will do what they need to do, because us having the preliminary autopsy results and hearing nothing from them, it's heartbreaking and it's concerning, which again is why we are here. why we have asked for this help. So again, thank you all so much for your support. We appreciate you, we really do.
Every day I wake up, it's a new challenge. Knowing that a part of me I will never talk to, I will never hold, I will never play around with or get mad at, is not here anymore. Nolan brought a lot of joy to our family. He was the wittiest one out of everyone. The clown. He loved to put in the work because he wanted to be the best. He wanted to make me and his mother proud, and we were so proud of him just for being the person that he was. He was loving. All his teachers knew him, but loved him. He walks in the room, his aura, you are automatically drawn to it. Never met an enemy. And if they were, they would eventually be friends because they would eventually bond, and it's going to be hard. He should be at football practice right now. Yeah. Calling me after practice, Dad, I made this play, or I made that play, or I get a text with 3 or 4 videos of him doing this, running this route, making this block, and what you think I should do. And I will give my honest, because I always tell them, if anyone is going to be totally honest with you, it's going to be me. And it's not because I'm being mean, but people outside of your family are going to tell you what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you what you need to know to make you better. It's going to be hard for our family from here on out. And like I said, every day is a challenge. We're going to miss our son. And like my wife said, we just want honesty. We want to know what happened to our son, because the things that you're telling us, that's not the character of our son. We know our son. I understand, our children would do things that, they were kind of dumbfound us sometimes, but the things that we're being told, that wasn't Nolan. So please keep us in your prayers, keep him in your prayers, and we're going to keep pushing and fighting until we find answers. Thank you guys for your love and support.
Thank you so much, Christine and Nolan. Christine and Elmore, Nolan's mother and father. Before we start to go over the preliminary findings from the independent autopsy, we will hear from Attorney Lisa Park to tell you about who was the forensic pathologist who conducted the autopsy. Attorney Lisa Park.
Thank you. Dr. Roger Mitchell could not join us today, but we felt it important before we reveal and unfold this report that you understand who conducted this autopsy. Dr. Roger Mitchell is a physician and board-certified forensic pathologist with 2 decades of experience. He currently serves as the president of the National Medical Association, which is the oldest and largest group of Black physicians in the U.S. Most recently, he also served as president of Howard University Hospital, chief medical officer of the Howard University Faculty Practice Plan, and chair of the Department of Pathology. Before joining Howard, he served as chief medical examiner for Washington, D.C. from 2014 to 2021, and later as interim deputy mayor for the public safety and justice. Dr. Mitchell has conducted and managed thousands of autopsies and is nationally recognized for his work at the intersection of medicine, public health, and justice. And for this case,
First, why a routine drowning suddenly became a federal matter. Second, exactly what vanished from Nolan's body before the independent exam ever began. Nolan Wells was athletic, a strong swimmer, by every account you'll hear tonight. On the 4th of July, he headed to Horn Island with 20 to 30 friends, split across 3 boats. He never made it home. His body was found days later, face down at the water's edge. Here's where it gets stranger. Local investigators looked at that body and said the words families dread most. No foul play suspected. But the independent doctor his mother brought in never got the chance to check for himself. I find it very difficult to believe that not one but 2 medical examiners cannot figure out why he had deep red subcutaneous markings. That's the family's own attorney, and he's not the only one asking questions tonight. Subscribe right now, because what this second doctor discovered will change how you see this entire case. His throat, his neck organs, his hyoid bone, all withheld before that exam ever began. Why would anyone hold on to a young man's throat? What the second autopsy found. Let's deliver on that first promise. Here's exactly what disappeared and why it should worry you. The second autopsy was supposed to give this family clarity. Instead, it raised more questions than it answered. The independent doctor documented a red discoloration on the back of Nolan's head. Not a small mark, roughly 12 by 8 centimeters, with sharp, defined edges. Experts don't usually associate clean margins like that with ordinary decomposition. It almost appears as though there is a pattern there. It's almost like a rectangular shape. Now touch the back of your own neck for a second. Feel that hard ridge of cartilage under your fingers? That's exactly what investigators needed to examine on Nolan's body. They couldn't. The trachea, the larynx, the thyroid cartilage, the hyoid bone, all of it stayed behind with the Mississippi State Medical Examiner's office. None of it reached the second doctor. The hyoid bone matters more than almost any other structure in a suspected strangulation case. The hyoid is generally only traumatized as a result of direct pressure. That's generally applied by a throttling event. Without it, the independent examiner couldn't rule anything in. He couldn't rule anything out either. His lungs were already dissected before they reached him too. That matters if you're trying to confirm a drowning through diatom testing, a method that checks for microscopic algae deep in the tissue. So ask yourself this. If this was truly an accidental drowning, why does the evidence trail look this incomplete? Local police moved fast to call this nothing. The second autopsy tells a very different story. That contradiction is exactly why the FBI stepped in. But the missing organs aren't even the strangest part of this case. The strangest part happened hours before Nolan ever reached that beach. The hours nobody can explain. Here's your second promise, delivered in full. This is the timeline nobody in that friend group wants to talk about. 20 to 30 people, 3 boats, 1 dock. They all left together on the 4th of July. Somewhere between that dock and Horn Island, Nolan Wells disappeared from the story. Here are 5 facts about that missing window that should stop you cold. 1. Nolan's phone never left the boat with him. It went home with the group, not with Nolan. 2. Nobody called his mother right away. Warren Hudson, a friend, reportedly called Christine around 11:07 p.m. that night. 3. Christine tracked her son's location herself, through Life 360, and drove straight to a friend's house. 4. When she arrived, everyone was inside, watching television. Nolan's phone was sitting in a truck outside. 5. Nobody had asked where Nolan was, not until his own mother showed up at the door. Sit with that for a second. 20 to 30 people spend an entire day with someone, and not one of them thinks to ask where he went? There is this just absolute black hole, from about 4:30 p.m. on July 4th until he washed up Monday morning, where nobody seems to know anything. Maybe it's teenagers panicking. Maybe it's kids who assumed he caught a ride with someone else. Or maybe silence like that means something else entirely. Tell me right now in the comments, is that normal panic or is that a red flag? I want to know what you think happened in that house before his mother arrived. Because what happened next, when investigators tried to search the boat itself, made this case even harder to explain away. The boat they wouldn't let be searched. A volunteer cadaver dog team offered to search that boat for free, and the answer they got back should make you sit up. The United Cajun Navy, a search and recovery group, heard the online chatter and stepped in. They offered trained cadaver dogs to inspect the boat Nolan had been on. No cost, no delay. We told this to Crump's legal team and said, well, we'll have them go inspect the boat, and they'll be able to tell if there's evidence of decomposition on that boat. The offer was declined. If that detail bothers you as much as it bothers me, hit that subscribe button now, because this case is far from over. No official reason was given publicly. And here's what makes that harder to explain away. Search experts say trained dogs can detect trace evidence weeks, even months later. A quick cleaning wouldn't erase that signature. Now, to be clear, nobody has been named a suspect, and no charges have been filed against anyone in that friend group. So why turn down a search that could have cleared everyone involved, instantly, for free? I want to hear your theory. Why would anyone decline a free search that could clear their name completely? Drop your answer below. Nolan's family is still waiting for someone to explain that decision. And so is the FBI. Still no answers. Here's where this case stands right now, tonight. The investigation is still active. Everything now runs through the district attorney's office, and a grand jury is expected to review the evidence. Nolan's mother has one request, and it hasn't changed since day one. The only question that we have is what happened to our son. A missing throat, a missing hyoid bone, a mark with edges too clean to explain, hours nobody can account for, a boat that was never searched, no cause of death confirmed, no manner of death ruled, nobody charged with anything. And investigators are now reportedly pulling cell phone data from everyone on those 3 boats. Data that could place each person exactly where they were, minute by minute that night. That data hasn't been released yet. When it is, it could change everything you just heard. Subscribe now and turn on notifications, because I'll bring you that update the moment it drops. Until then, tell me what you think really happened to Nolan Wells. Type your answer below. I read every single one. This case isn't closed. It isn't even close.